Let's get started. I am super excited tonight to talk all things fiber, but in a way that actually makes sense for real life. All right. Now, most people are either aren't getting enough fiber, or they don't even know why fiber even matters, or they're going about it all wrong, either by eating too much at once or loading up on processed high fiber foods, or assuming fiber only comes from like boring ass salads. So I'm here to fix all that for you tonight. And by the end of this training, you're going to know exactly how much fiber you need and why it's a game changer for digestion, fat loss, and hormones. You're going to learn how easy it is to hit your fiber target every day without choking down bland salads or constantly feeling like overstuffed. And you're also going to get some simple, realistic ways to make fiber a habit, even if you are a super busy woman that is on the go. Oh, and we're also going to make this easier than binge watching Netflix, because I know you don't have to overcomplicate this. Like, we don't have time to overcomplicate this, right? So we're breaking it down simple and sustainable. But before we get started, be honest with me. Like, I want to ask you a few questions. Like, have you ever felt like you're constantly hungry? Like when you're eating, like what should be like enough food, right? Or have you struggled with bloating, constipation, or unpredictable digestion? Are you doing all the right things but not seeing your fat loss results like you expected? If any of that sounds familiar, there's a good chance that it could be fiber, or your lack of it, that it's playing a really big role in keeping you from the goals that you want. So let's fix that. So for those of you who are new here, I'm Coach Chelsea Ray, and I help women in perimenopause and menopause to lose stubborn fat, build strength, and feel amazing in their bodies without the extreme diets or the unnecessary restrictions or workouts that just don't fit into your real life. And one of the biggest game changers that I have seen, both for myself and for my clients, is getting your fiber dialed in. And this looks very different for everyone, but fiber is a cheat code when it comes to fat loss, your digestion, and your hormone health. Yet most women are actually getting way less than they need. So let's talk about why fiber is such a big deal and why it's probably the missing link in your routine. So a lot of people I talk to, they think about fiber in terms of just digestion. Like, oh yeah, it helps you poop. Well, that is true. But fiber does way more than that. It keeps you full and it prevents overeating. So it slows down your digestion, making you stay fuller longer. It works just like protein in that it actually like naturally reduces hunger and it keeps your cravings in check. Great thing, right? And when you're full and satisfied, you're less likely to snack mindlessly or feel like you need extra food later in the day. Have you ever noticed that when you eat a meal with fiber, like say like oatmeal or a salad with like chickpeas, you stay fuller way longer? And then especially way longer than like when you eat something like white bread or cereal for that matter, right? Well, that's because fiber slows down the breakdown of food. So your body processes it at a very steady pace. And this means no sudden hunger crashes, fewer cravings for sugar and processed snacks, and less overeating throughout the day. All things that are going to help us get to those weight loss goals, right? Another awesome thing is that fiber regulates your blood sugar and it prevents the energy crashes, like the 2 o'clock, like, oh, I need a nap, right? So it slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, and this prevents the energy crashes, the cravings, the hormonal imbalances, and high fiber diets are actually linked to lower insulin levels, which is a huge deal in perimenopause and menopause when insulin resistance does become more common. So if you've ever felt like wired and then tired throughout the day, or you've craved sugar like crazy in the afternoon, or feel like your metabolism has slowed down for like no apparent reason, then blood sugar and insulin could be a big piece of the puzzle, and fiber helps to stabilize both. Good deal, right? Another thing that it does is it supports your gut health and your digestion. So your gut bacteria love fiber. It's their main food source. A healthy gut means better digestion, less bloating, more regular bowel movements, and the fiber helps clear out the waste and the toxins so that your digestion doesn't feel so sluggish. So if you're constipated, you likely need either one or all of these, but like more fiber, more water, or a better fiber balance of soluble versus insoluble, which we'll cover in just a minute. But if you're bloated all the time, you might need to adjust how much fiber you're eating at once. And again, this can be very individual specific. We're going to talk about some ranges, but this can vary from person to person. And also, like, you need to spread it out across meals instead of loading it all in one meal. The key is kind of getting that like right balance, right? So too much fiber too fast can cause just as many issues as too little. Fiber also boosts fat loss without counting calories. So studies show that people who eat more fiber naturally eat fewer calories without tracking or restricting. Well, why is that? Well, because fiber makes meals more satisfying. It balances the blood sugar and prevents overeating. So if you feel like you're eating healthy but still struggling with fat loss, fiber could be that missing link, like I said before. So how much fiber do you actually need? Well, this again, there's a recommendation and then there's the individual. So it is recommended that women under 50 get somewhere between 25 and 30 grams a day. And women over 50 get about 21 grams per day. What I have found in the 10 years of being a personal trainer and the last 8 years of being a nutrition coach is that does definitely vary, and it takes a little bit of finagling, some trial and error, and figuring out what works best for your body. Okay, so for me personally, I sit somewhere between like 18 and 20 grams feels good for my body. If I go much over that, I am constipated. It does not work for me. Like that's just, and I am not over 50. So this range of the 21 grams per day is not, it doesn't align with my body, right? And I have several girls that we've had to figure that out of like, okay, we want to get you up higher than like an average of like 6 grams. Like we don't want to be anywhere down there, right? Like a lot of women that I work with get like 6 to 10 grams a day, which is way below optimal. We want to be a little bit closer to those average numbers, you know, somewhere between like 18-ish, but that is very individual based. And when you work with me one-on-one, we definitely figure out your like prime spot. But as a good rule of thumb, getting more fiber in and kind of tracking too, like tracking how it's making you feel. You should be pooping at least once a day. If you're not, something is not optimal, something is not working, and we need to maybe tweak either more or less of that fiber to get things moving again. Again, we want to consider like, are you getting enough water? Are you moving your body? All those things can also play a part. But, you know, almost every single woman that comes into my program is struggling with constant hunger, bloating, and digestive issues and weight loss plateaus. And when we look more into it, they're getting like 6 grams of fiber. And that's where we kind of attack that first and really like hone that in, again, along with the movement and the water, because that all kind of plays a big piece. But so now that you know like why fiber matters, let's talk about how to actually hit your fiber goal without overcomplicating it. So I want to give you a 3-step system to make fiber effortless. You do not need to spend your day choking down, again, dry salads or eating fiber bars that taste like cardboard, right? Ugh, yeah, no need to do that. So here's how to easily get enough fiber every day. So step 1, we're going to anchor fiber at every meal. So what that means is at each meal, you should have one fiber-rich food as like a base. Okay, so this is your fiber anchor. So examples could be, you know, let's talk breakfast first. So it could be oats, chia seeds, raspberries, whole grain toast. For like lunch or dinner, we're talking like lentils, black beans, quinoa, sweet potatoes. And for snacks, think like nuts, pears, apples, popcorn. And pick one of these for every meal, and I promise you're gonna hit your target without even thinking about it. So I do want to say that like incorporating quick fix fiber foods like Fiber One bars or carb balanced tortillas. Now these can be really practical way to boost your fiber intake, especially, you know, when we're busy, we got 100 other things that we're trying to do. However, it really is essential to be mindful about the ingredients and the potential drawbacks like added sugars, artificial ingredients in those type of things. So I would say using those things sparingly, okay? Prioritizing the whole unprocessed foods will provide the most health benefits. You get more, your body absorbs them better because they are an unprocessed whole food. And again, there's still room for the processed options, but just as an occasional supplements rather than like your staple foods. Step 2 is to follow the rule of thirds. So instead of eating all your fiber in one meal, which can cause bloating, spread it out evenly throughout the day. So I'm going to add this to like the comments below, but an example of a fiber breakdown, let's just say like 30 grams is your target. That's definitely on the high end. Let's say like your breakfast, 8 grams by adding in like oats and chia seeds. Your lunch, you could get about 10 grams by having lentils and mixed vegetables. Dinner could be about 10 grams by having sweet potatoes and greens. And your snack of like an apple and almonds will hit you like another 5 grams. So your gut's going to thank you for spreading out the fiber throughout the day instead of dumping it all at once. Again, we want to kind of find that balance. But you can kind of see like how simple it really is. So the third step is to use the double down method. So we're going to double up on things. Okay, so we're going to add chia seeds and flax seeds or black beans to your meals. You can make some simple swaps like whole grain bread instead of white bread, lentil pasta instead of regular pasta, or brown rice or quinoa instead of white rice. And those small changes really start to add up fast. So fiber is one of the simplest but most powerful things that you can optimize for better digestion, balanced hormones, and easier fat loss. But the key is to start small, but also be consistent, okay? This is not about perfection, it's about progress. So if you have any questions, need help figuring out what works best for your body, or you just need some extra support, please reach out. I'm always happy to chat, always happy to troubleshoot anything. So I would love to know, like, which fiber tip are you going to try first? Drop it in the chat below or send me a message. I'm going to be dropping a fiber guide in our Facebook community tomorrow morning, something that you can download and have that you can reference that as like your quick reference guide. So I hope this training helped to kind of clear up a little bit of your questions about fiber and why it's important, and kind of get you on a bit of a path of adding more into your daily meals and habits. So I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.